Okay, my my battery went dead on my camera. I got the electricity into it. So anyway, what I was laughing so much about is not getting what you see with Mormons and their lives and the way they present themselves. So Jeanie had I'm still laughing. I can't even say it without laughing my face off. Mike Randall, he didn't make much money at all. I mean, eventually they both went bankrupt. You know, Jeanie wanted to leave me because she said we weren't financially stable, and her and Mike went bankrupt. Be that as it may, she ran to Mike. She took 3 of my kids who were receiving, I think, around $600 a month each from my Social Security. So they had $1,800 a month of my money. I think Mike thought that was a good deal. And Jeanie, of course, Jeanie, she's a little sneaky person anyway, so she probably, you know, said, Mike, hey, you need to marry me. I can bring $1,800 a month into the marriage. And of course, my son Aaron is autistic, and he gets the Social Security, $600 a month for life. For life. So he's a little bit of a Mormon investment too, I guess. Excuse me, I gotta get control of myself. What you see is what you get. Well, here's the worst, and my kids will not think that, and in fact, very few people are going to think this is funny, but I do. I think it's funny. When she left me a little box. She took my car, my house, my clothes, all of the kids' pictures, all of my videos, all of my childhood pictures, my yearbook, everything. It's kind of like where the gold plates are today. No one knows. So I had nothing. Well, she threw the little wood box of my stuff, which was about this size, on my mom's porch in Ojai. And I went out, and I don't remember, there was a few checking books or some other kinds of little documents or something, but nothing in there very important at all, except when I started to dump it out on the bed, I began to believe in Jesus. Out of this box comes 4 or 5 or 7, whatever it was, naked pictures of Jeanie, the Relief Society president of Ojai. Now, I'm saying to myself, I didn't have to discuss it too long with myself. I thought that Jeanie had treated me pretty unfairly in the divorce and partially in the marriage, and I think that, you know, tying up with Mike so quick, they may have had phone calls or letters, and again, speculation, no proof, before we were divorced. But be that as it may, I didn't right away become mean or cruel or vindictive. Right away. So I wrote to Jeanie in Oklahoma with her new husband, and I said, you know, I have some naked pictures of you here. Who do you want me to send them to? Do you want me to give them to your girlfriend here in Ojai, and then they can just forward it on to you? Oh my gosh. Talk about something hitting the fan. She told the whole world there was no such thing. She told all of her bishops and stake presidents and her new husband and her girlfriends and her friends back in Ojai, David's just BSing. Now I'm pissed. Because she's trying to make me look bad. She wasn't forced to take those naked pictures. No one forced her. She volunteered to do that. So I began to think, what's the right thing to do? And her little Mormon, I'm pure, that can't possibly be, that pissed me off. It still pisses me off. So I go down to Kinko's and I blow up one of the better pictures, 3x3, in a poster. And I send it to her husband in Oklahoma. You know, those old jokes, do you have any naked pictures of your wife? Do you want some? Oh my gosh. Her little image just came raining down on the ground. Her bishop and her stake president. I'm sure, see, these Mormons are funny because they're so sexually repressed. When she goes in, now I'm just speculating here, just having fun. And she goes into the bishop and says, my husband has sent naked pictures of certain parts of my body to my new husband. And the bishop is going to say, well, Jeanie, I'd really like to try to help you, but I need evidence. I know these guys. So I'm sure she probably had to show that picture to the bishop. And then the bishop calls the stake president and says, you know, we really have a serious situation here. Our Relief Society president's private parts are public. So the stake president, I need proof. So who knows, maybe the whole High Council needed proof. I don't know. But you know what? That was Jeannie's fault. That was Jeannie's fault. That wasn't David's fault. I gave her an opportunity to quietly dispose of those pictures. She didn't take it. Her pride was way up here, and the truth was right down here. And when she let her pride overrule the truth, I just sent the pictures. Well, you know, my daughters, I don't think they thought much of that. Monica doesn't talk to me. Amy hasn't talked to me for 4 or 5 years. Amy's finally talking again. But my little adopted girl, Monica, that I took out of poverty, she's a Mormon, and she's holier than thou. And Dad is an atheist, and he's an apostate, and he's going to outer darkness. And I don't want to tarnish myself with him. And yet, you know, I tarnished myself for years changing her crap diapers and feeding her because her mother wouldn't. That's the truth. That's the truth. I was the main caregiver to Monica, not her biological mom. And when we got divorced, Monica called me and wanted to live with me, not her biological mom. So you see these things with the Mormons, you got to be very, very careful that they are tricky, they're cruel, they're mean, they're shunning, and they're liars. Their image is much more important than the truth. And to get the truth, you got to go to the internet, you got to interview other people, you've got to be objective, and you got to gather a whole pile of evidence before you know what the truth is about the Mormon Church or individual Mormons. I'm going to, again, this is probably going to be a little bit of a short video because I'm thinking the next wife there was why is my mind blank? Carolyn. And I think I've mentioned her once before, but if I'm overlapping, I don't care. I'm the only one that looks at these. And they're only made for me. I don't care. So anyway, I'm going to cut this one short, and then I'm going to pick up with the Carolyn wife and leave a summary that basically these Mormons are not what they appear to be. Their image, their sexuality, their background, their history, you're going to have to dig it out because they're tricky. They're very, very tricky, and they lie, and what's important to them is what people think of them, not who they are, not what they've done. Nothing inside of them is important. It's just what the neighbors see. They look over, oh, she's going to Relief Society meeting, oh, she's dressed and she's modest. Yeah, well, some of them are not as modest as they appear to be. So I'll pick up in a few minutes. Thanks again.